sing All of the Glory Belongs to You. Here we go. All of the glory belongs to You. And we'll let it build slowly. All of the glory belongs to You. A little bit more. All of the glory belongs to You. All of the glory, yeah. All of the glory belongs to You. Lift it up. Send it up high. You deserve it. You deserve it. Yes. You deserve it. Oh, you deserve it. You deserve it. Oh, you deserve it. Oh, you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. My hallelujah. My hallelujah belongs to You. And just one more and send it out. My hallelujah belongs to You. Well done. What a choir. Please be seated.
Good morning, and welcome to Seattle Unity, both in-house and at home. So this morning we have our building prayer. So when we go to the screen for our building prayer, we're all going to affirm that together. All right. So I have a couple of announcements, and one is that we are putting together, Cindy McComish is putting together another directory. We haven't had one since 2013, so please contact her and or go online to sign up for that. And next Sunday there's a wedding scheduled here later in the day, so we're having church at 8 a.m. It's called a sunrise service. So what time is church next Sunday? 8 a.m. That's right. So if you're home online, you could probably watch it at the regular time later. But if you're in person, it's 8 a.m. All right. And just a couple more announcements. And one is that Linda Tanner is leaving us. She is moving to the East Coast. Could you stand up for a second, please? Can you actually come over here? I know we didn't rehearse this, but Linda's been with us for so many years. She's lived on Bainbridge for like decades.
For 30 years.
30 years.
Month saying goodbye to everybody. Yeah. And it's both beautiful and just like, overwhelming, saying goodbye to all of you. I have been keeping the little This Is Us book, and so I'm going to leave it back there for anybody to read if you choose to, but it starts February 2017, and then it ends, I filled up each page, just writing a little bit of this, that, and the other, but August 15, 2018, which was our very first meeting here at the Metropolis. And I just have to say, like, I know once before you asked people, I think before we moved out of the church, what brought you here to begin with? And it was, quote, so-called an accident, just going to Seattle for a play day with some friends. And one of my friends said, do you mind stopping if we go to Seattle Unity first? And I was like, oh, I'd love to. I've never been, and I've always wanted to. And that very first day, as I've written it up before, truly was love at first sight. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, this is available to us? I mean, everything, the sermon talks, every time are exactly what I need, including today, faith over fear. The music is always exactly what I need and love, and I'm just so grateful to all of you beautiful faces of God. I'm so grateful.
So let's take a moment as we bless Linda. So Linda, we know that the Spirit of God goes before you and makes your way clear. We know that this move for you is in divine order. And though we will miss you, you remain in our hearts and souls forever. And so we bless you on this journey, knowing that you are in your right place and surrounded by the right people. And for this, we are truly grateful. Amen. So one door opens and another door closes. So an opening door is that we've hired a new staff member that we'd like to introduce to you, and this is Josh Garcia Cotter.
Hi, everyone. I'm Josh. I'm the new facilities and events manager. You're going to see me running around the building, putting things up, tearing things down, touring with people who'd like to rent out the space, shooing you out of rooms that maybe I need to turn over. Please, please, please be patient with me. I'm really excited to be here. There's a lot of questions that I don't have the answers to, and I know a lot of questions that all of you have. I'm going to be here afterwards if you'd like to ask any of those, but let's get this started.
Okay, and so at home we'll watch the announcements online. In the house, stand and greet one another.
All right, at your leisure, because actually chatting with people is kind of crucial in this place, but at your leisure, stay standing. We're going to dance and do another relatively higher energy or a body-oriented kind of a service today. We're doing special different things today. And because I might not tell you their name, our special guest singer today is Kataka Korn, and you're going to hear some amazing things from them a little bit later, from a song selection from The Color Purple and another from Greatest Showman. But right now I want you to try and guess what the next song is, just from Jesse Whitford's amazing drum playing. Does anybody want to guess? No. Let's throw in Olivia and see if you get it then. right. My lower body seems to be figuring out this or recognizing it. Anybody have a guess?
Staple Singers.
Staple Singers? I would love to hear the Staple Singers on this song, actually. But it's not. Nice guess. Let's add in David. Anybody have a guess yet? What's that? It's on the tip of your tongue. We know it. When we do it, you guys are going to be like, what? We give thanks for what? Yes. Here we go. God is my source. There it is. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. So I give thanks for all my blessings. That's the way God gives me everything I need. Let's do it again. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything let's do love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need, yeah. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything. Hey Jesse, would you do a little solo here? And we'll have to just make this our dance break. Yeah, love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. 3 times. Love gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything I need. Love gives me everything Now I'm going to ask you if you want to put your hands in the air or do a little Aretha or you know, or whatever on the word need. Ready? Yes. Be seated for a moment because, go ahead and you guys can be seated. I'm going to transition here. You know, normally we would have a slow chant into a silent meditation, but because today is a special day, we have Andrea Carino with her bowls, and so she's going to do a little bit of this. And Andrea also does work frequently with Fran Gallo, who is going to be our kind of resident yoga instructor in the new building. Let me say that again. Resident yoga instructor in the new building.
Morning. I invite you to stand if you're able, and we'll move even more into our bodies. You're all warmed up already. And these are simple asanas I would like you to experience. So, taking your arms up. Doesn't matter left or right. Grab a hold of one wrist. And side bend. This is a taste of spirit yoga. I want you to invite your breathing into the area being stretched. Create space. Fill your body with light, with breath, with prana, and then slowly release. And notice already a difference in the sides of your body. And we do the other side, taking hold of the other wrist and side bending. And inviting your breath, your spirit into your body. Breath filled with prana, life force, light, warmth. Your head nestled in your lower arm. And then releasing and taking the arms down and noticing. Take the hands behind your back. You'll interlace your fingers, extend your arms, squeeze shoulder blades together, look up, lift your heart, and simply lowering your head, bringing chin to chest, still extending the arms, clearing the mind, looking forward and turning your head one direction and the other side. And releasing, and have a seat. For the next part, it's breath, and it's called, I call it waterfall breathing. It actually has another name, resonant breathing, because it resonates with you. And it's simple. You're going to bring your arms up on an inhalation, breathing in through your nose, and exhale, arms coming down, and inhale, relax your shoulders, let your hands kind of drip from your wrists, and exhale, arms come down. It's that simple. Make sure you're standing tall, sitting tall, inhaling, and hearing the singing bowls, the sound bath. In your mind's eye, hearing the sound of the waterfall. Find a rhythm, nothing forceful in this beautiful image of the waterfall. Hear the sound of the waterfall. Feel the mist of the waterfall on your face, on your skin, the moisture. Hear the sound and smell the waterfall, the smell of moss, of water, of moisture. And then paint the waterfall. Your hands are paintbrushes. Be wild with your colors. Be bold. Dip your fingers into paint and inhale as you raise the arms, painting. Next time your hands come down, take your time. You'll rest your hands on your lap and sit quietly, clearing your mind.
Dear God, dear stars, dear trees, dear sky, dear people, dear everything, dear God. God is inside me and everyone else that was or ever will be. I came into this world with God, and when I finally looked inside, I found it. just as sure as moonlight, black with night, rising like the sun is the hope that sets us free. Your heartbeat, well, it make my heart beat when we share love. Like a blade of corn, like a honeybee, like a waterfall, all a part of me. Like the color purple, where do it come from? Now my eyes are open. Look what God has done. It takes a grain of love to make a mighty tree. Even the smallest voice can make a harmony. Like a drop of water, it keeps the river high. There are miracles for you and I. Like a blade of corn, like a honeybee, like a waterfall, all a part of me. Like a color purple, where do it come from? Now my eyes are open. Look what God has done. I don't think us feel old at all. I think that this the youngest us ever felt. Amen.
Kataka Korn.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. So this month in our Tree of Life series, we are focusing on the flowers. We are focusing on the buds. How could we not when you look outside and start to see them, the trees flowering and blossoming? And it reminds us that no matter how hopeless things are, life always returns. It takes faith to carry us through those times when things seem dark and bleak. Yet when we are in the midst of winter, we have faith, don't we, that the flowers will return. The earth appears to be dead, but it always comes back to life. In Hebrews 1:11, faith is the substance. Just wanted to see if you knew it. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So last week, we talked about two kinds of faith as outlined by Emily Cady in Lessons in Truth. And one is understanding faith, and the other is blind faith. And blind faith is based on intuition. When you simply know something, you know that everything's going to be okay, but you don't know how, but you just know it. That's blind faith. But understanding faith is working with spiritual principle. And I loved the quote from Emily Cady last week so much, I'm going to share it again this week. She said that God, the invisible substance out of which all visible things are formed, is all around us waiting to come forth into manifestation. The demand must be made before the supply can come to fill it, And to recognize these two statements of truth and to affirm them are the whole secret of understanding faith. So in Unity, we call that affirmations. It's how we pray, right? We pray affirmatively. We speak the truth in present tense language. We can start a prayer with thank you, God, because it leads us into that present tense moment. We call it speaking the word. But have you noticed that when you speak the word, if the heart isn't engaged, if it's only in the mind, sometimes speaking the word can feel empty or it can feel false, right? So I'd like to go into this a little deeper because the question is, how can we charge our words when we speak the word? How can we charge our words with power? How can we charge our prayers with power? So I think the first thing that we need to do is we need to look at our own mindset. We have a choice between faith and fear. They cannot exist at the same time. So when we worry, we're fearful. We're putting energy into that which we do not want to manifest in our lives, right? It's sort of like praying for what we don't want in life when we worry. And Jesus said it beautifully in Matthew chapter 6 when he said, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. So Jesus is very clear. Don't worry. There is enough for you to deal with today, so don't go borrowing trouble about things that might never happen. And here's the deal. When we project fear into the future, it does two things. One, it keeps us from being present in this moment, right? And it causes anxiety and stress about something that might not ever happen. Now, the truth is, we need to worry a little bit, right? Because, you got to look ahead. You got to look at your finances. You got to look at different things that are coming up. So you need to be realistic about it. But if we take it too far, it becomes excessive worrying, which can be troublesome. So we've been studying heart math for the last 3 weeks on Wednesday nights and with David MacArthur, who was here 3 weeks ago. And we've been putting these techniques into practice. And so I'm kind of reviewing a little bit of that today because emotional stress creates erratic heart rhythm patterns. And the Heart Math Institute said that the incoherent patterns of physiological activity associated with stressful emotions can cause our bodies to operate inefficiently, to deplete our energy, and produce extra wear and tear on the whole system. And this is especially true if stress and negative emotions are prolonged or are experienced often. We've all felt this, right? When you kind of go down that hole of worrying, it's like it really costs the physical body. It costs the mental. It costs our emotions. And I'm sure all of us know people who are wrapped in gloom and doom. Anybody? Yeah. One thing seems to go wrong after another because the focus is only on what is wrong. It's the law of mind of action at work. I have a friend in Chicago, and whenever I go visit her, I have to brace myself because I know that she's going to share with me one disaster after another. So that it's almost like, I wonder, is she cursed? How could this be? How could one person have all these things in her life go wrong? And in a way, she is cursed because she's taught herself to live in this constant, fearful, worrying state that she's never able to step out of. Now, positive emotions send a different signal. Again, Heart Math says that when we experience uplifting emotions such as appreciation, joy, care, and love, our heart rhythm pattern becomes highly ordered, looking like a smooth, harmonious wave instead of the stress, which is like this. And this is called a coherent heart rhythm pattern. And again, this is what we've been practicing over the last couple of weeks. And one of the questions that came up at our group last Wednesday night is, how do we remember to do this technique when we're in the middle of a situation? Someone shared that, everything was going fine and then I just flipped, How many of us just flip when something goes wrong? And David MacArthur said, it's practice. It's practice. Eventually, you will hear something and you'll be able to respond to it in a heart coherent manner. Paul said in Philippians chapter 4, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." The part I want to pull on in this verse is with thanksgiving, with appreciation. So rather than just speaking the word, Paul is saying with thanksgiving. When we simply affirm the truth, then we're using our heads. But when we include the heart, we reach heart coherence. So the first step in using affirmations then is to make sure that we're connected to our hearts. And I don't think that we can practice this enough. So one of the things that I was working on, because we were told, and I'm going to ask you to do this as well, is to pull on and think about a stressful situation and just be in it. So I thought about taxes. Anybody thinking about taxes yet? And then the idea is to go to a heart coherence and then go back to the taxes. And what I realized was when I was in the stress mode, the worrying was, but what if I don't have all the receipts? What if I add it up wrong? What if I don't have all the forms that I need? What if I don't get it in on time? What if I don't finish it? And after sitting with it in my heart, I got, take your time. Take one step at a time. Look at one document at a time. And eventually, it has to get done because you're moving through it. So think of those times when maybe you've received bad news or a health challenge, and immediately you may jump to the future. Or to a future, to what could go wrong. And again, a part of that is important so that we can certainly fix certain things. But when we want to use truth principles and when we want to speak the truth, then we're called to a different place. So I'm going to ask you to join with me in this right now. So I'd like you to think about a situation that concerns you, and it's a personal situation. What in your life right now is causing you stress? And I'd like you just to be with that and to feel it. Feel the stress. Feel what it is. And on a scale of 1 to 5, how stressed are you about this? Like 0 is I'm not stressed. 5 is like, yeah. 8 is yes. So just mark that. And again, Paul said, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. So in the heart math technique, we are invited to focus on the heart. And if you want to touch your heart, that's one way to do this. And then breathe slowly into your heart. And on the inhale, just feel your chest, your heart almost expand. And I'm going to invite you to do that for a couple of breaths. And now think of someone that you love and put that person in your heart. And if a person doesn't come to mind, or a pet, Think of a great experience that you had that was a high moment in your life. I want you to be in that for a moment. Breathe into your heart. And now I invite you to go back and to think about, bring back into your heart what it is you are stressed about. And notice how it's different. If it was from 0 to 5, 0 being not stressed, so you might even go into the minus numbers. What would the number be now? If anybody wants to call out the change, I'd like to hear it. First of all, was there a change in the number? So this is putting power into the word that you speak. This is putting power into your prayers and changing things. And now I'd like to do it again, but this time I know many are concerned about the war in the Ukraine and Russia. So this time I'm going to invite you to move into that, the images that you've seen, the stress that you feel, the worry that you have over this situation, and bring it in and just really feel it. And again, on a scale of 1 to 5, where are you with this and your concern and your worry? But with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. So once again, breathe into the heart, touching the heart. Bringing into your heart that person that you love or that situation. And know now that you are in a different state of consciousness. And now I invite you to bring back Russia and the Ukraine and hold that in your heart. And on a scale from 0 to 5, where are you feeling now? And was there any change? And then bring your awareness back to this time and place. So was there any change? How did it feel differently with the second one? I'd like to hear from somebody. Just shout it out. In what way? There was a slight change. Thank you. So she said that when she thought of who she loved, her heart felt fuller. And when she went back to thinking about Russia and the Ukraine, her heart was bigger in a way. It was softer. It held more. It held more instead of being tight. Because when we think about these things, we tend to get stressed and tight. And again, in order to bless it, in order to speak the word, in order to change it, at a heart level, at a spiritual level, we need to add our hearts to our heads in our prayers. Is there anybody else? Jennifer? So she said she felt more peaceful, more calm, and because of that, it felt like wisdom could come through. And isn't that true? When we feel more peaceful, when we feel more calm, there's more of an opportunity for that divine wisdom to start moving in and through us and speaking in and through us and situations. So it may feel sometimes like, oh, we're putting our prayers out there, but the truth is there is a difference and there is a change. So I invite you to add this. I know many of you have been practicing affirmations and prayers for years, to add this to it. And I'm blessed by having David MacArthur with us here. So Jesus said, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move, and it will move. So, what's the mountain in front of you right now? What are the mountains that you are facing? Because a grain of mustard seed just means it's just a tiny little bit is all you need. You just need to start with where you are and move from there, because you have the power to move these mountains with your heart intelligence. You have the power to meet any obstacle that is in front of you with love and with compassion. So as we continue in this tree of life, when we see the blossoms, we see that we are stepping forward in our own beauty, in our own love, in taking action and affecting a change in the world. So in closing, I wanted to share with you from the Daily Word of last Wednesday, because it fits with where we are, which is wholehearted. And so as we go forth, we bring our whole hearts into everything that we are and to everything that we do. We bring our full attention to all that we choose to do. Because when we give our wholehearted attention to what we're doing, we are elevating ourselves beyond mere activity, and we're touching the spiritual realm. In this place of pure spirit, we are powerful and fully present. We are complete in mind, body, and soul. And we can reach this state of pure, prayerful presence whenever we give our whole heart to whatever we do. And it is for this awareness and in the name and through the power of the living Spirit of truth that we do say, thank you and amen.
To the dark, hide away, they say, 'cause nobody wants your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. When the sharpest words want to cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets in my skin. Well, far away, 'cause today I won't let that shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the
So we come to that time in our service where we share our tithes and our love offerings. And if their number on the screen is there for the text to give, if you'd like to give in that way. If you're in the room, there's a box over there by the prayer box that you can put your donation in. However you give, know that we are grateful. I give willingly, joy. So we have our prayer chaplains now that we're back in person again. So Louis and Dana are here to pray with you. So they will meet you over this side of the room if you would like someone to pray with you following the service. And we have prayers that have been requested. So we've just been doing heart math. So I'm going to invite you to do it again, to just stop for a minute. The more we do it, easier it becomes. Focus and take a breath to your heart. And hold in your heart someone you love. And we hold in our prayers Arlene and Louise, Marcy and Barbara, Emily and Kyle, Cara, Jim, Sandra, Becky, David and Lauren, Kim, Marie's family, and anyone else that you have thought of. Speak the names silently or loud. And so we know this truth. The light of God surrounds us. I am light.
It is. That's the truth. For those, I was, because I was like, "Where's Heather?" Wait a minute. For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, so there's this prayer, and then the children's program always used to have little kids, and they'd be like, "Little voices," and they would go, "And that's the truth," in a big group, and then they would be. It's just
and it feels
great.
wrong if it doesn't happen.
I know. It's like, where's the "and that's the truth"? Can we all together just say "and that's the truth"? Ready? And that's the truth. It's not part of the official prayer, mind you. Please stand as you are able. We're going to sing a closing song together, and I want to say a special thank you to our live stream technician this morning, David C., and it's his very first day doing this. You guys, it's a huge, complicated job. It would be the equivalent of jumping, you know, in a movie when your hero jumps into an alien spaceship and somehow knows how to do it, right? That's what he's been doing this morning, so God bless you, sir. We're going to sing Shanti, Shanti, Let It Begin With Me. If you're comfortable consensually holding hands with your neighbor, you may absolutely do that. Otherwise, send it out to someone who is not in this room. Shanti, Let It Begin With Me, and it will radiate forward. Here we go.